I'm Alan Hasbro, the CEO of Hasbro. Nice to meet you.
Nice meeting you. Have a seat, please.
Thank you. In 2001 of our subsidiaries, Hasbro Intractive lost a lot of money and we sold it eventually. Can you analyze the reasons and give us some recommendations? These are the documents you will need.
Yeah, sure, no worries. Take a look at it. So we've taken out the case of Hasbro Intractive, and here is a breakdown of our analysis and recommendations. We've identified the main problems of Hasbro Intractive as being issues with communication and motivation. Now first, let's take a look at issues with communication. Communication is a process by which information is exchanged between individuals through a common system of symbols, signs, or behavior. It's how we coordinate actions and achieve goals. Now let's take a look at an interview clip with Mr. Dusenberry.
I think the new system's impact on our unit was just like a disaster. As Ms. Daya also divisive influence, my team began to lose confidence in the corporate leadership.
From this, we can find that there is no effective communication between Daya and Dusenberry. According to the information provided, we didn't find the evidence showing that Daya clarified the importance and necessity for implementing the new financial system to Dusenberry, so she didn't obtain the support from the leader of the division. Dusenberry even considered her as a divisive influence. This situation adversely affected the teamwork and synergy within Hasbro Interactive. It is dangerous for the achievement of organizational objectives when two senior executives in the division show suspicion and discord. Daya also didn't get the support from the staff in Hasbro Interactive. She didn't communicate well with the general staff to discuss the feasibility of the new financial system. If the decision from a senior executive is not welcomed by the employees, these employees who have the responsibility to implement the plan will not put in the required effort. Daya is a person who can firmly carry out a plan. However, she implemented the new financial system without sufficient communication with Dusenberry and the employees of Hasbro Interactive. In addition, she is from the publishing industry and not familiar with Hasbro Interactive's business model. She didn't consider the difficulty of Hasbro Interactive managers to gather information regarding the amount of inventory, which means that Daya didn't communicate well with the employees to understand the business operations of Hasbro Interactive. As a result, I believe that Daya does not have the necessary communication skills for her role. Daya was nominated by BOM as the new CFO in Hasbro Interactive to keep an eye on costs. The first impression Daya gave to Dusenberry was not a good one. Bad impressions are quick to form. Moreover, Dusenberry was unhappy with the new financial system. From this, we can see that Dusenberry is afraid of change. She resists the opportunity of changing the company's original operation model because he thinks that this new system may be an obstacle to Hasbro Interactive's growth. Dusenberry is a person with a fixed mindset. His character contributes to the ineffective communication between him and Daya. Now let's take a look at a few other interview clips.
People became bigger than they really were. Too many people, too many overhead, too many egos. It's all imploded. At the end of the day, it was my fault because I was watching over the whole thing.
So Mr. Dusenberry made all operational decisions, including those relating to organizational structure, product selection, and partnership agreements. Although he reported to Hasbro's corporate offices in Pawtucket, the reporting structure gave Hasbro Interactive substantial separation from the rest of Hasbro. So Hasbro Interactive followed Hasbro's annual planning and review cycle without significant interaction with other divisions.
We have Hasbro personnel at Hasbro Interactive. They don't feel they need to consult with us because they believe they know what is going on with the brand, but they don't do the research that we do, and they don't have the consumer insight that we use to manage our business.
So it is easy to see that this reporting structure led to the insufficient communication between Hasbro and Hasbro Interactive. Hasbro lacked understanding of Hasbro Interactive, and thus it was difficult for them to manage the latter effectively. The lack of control also made it hard for them to make Hasbro Interactive follow any long-term strategy or vision which they might have in mind. Additionally, it resulted in Hasbro Interactive missing consumer insights from Hasbro's research, which led to the ineffective operations. This had a bad influence on decision-making and continuous development of the organization. It also led to Hasbro senior executives losing confidence in Hasbro Interactive. This unhealthy corporate culture could be attributed to Dusenberry's leadership style. Dusenberry is a person who is not willing to listen to others. This could be seen from him blaming Hasbro Interactive's downfall on Hasbro's increased control from 1999 onwards. These aspects of his personality resulted in the attitudinal barriers to Dusenberry achieving active listening. There is no denying that Dusenberry had a lot of working experience and was highly competent, but he did not have all of the requisite skills and insights for all the parts of the organization, especially when it comes to finance and operation. Employees in an environment where active communication is not encouraged might not be willing to share information or listen to others. This really should be a red flag for the company. When Dusenberry and Hasbro Interactive pursued their goals without regards to risks and costs, Hassenfeld didn't have any effective communication with Dusenberry and other senior managers in Hasbro Interactive. Hassenfeld should have kept Dusenberry in check when he felt that things were going wrong. Eventually, their operations led Hasbro Interactive to ruin. Hassenfeld didn't fulfill his duty to watch over the operations in Hasbro Interactive carefully. He lacks conscientiousness as he is not cautious enough when faced with the fact that people in Hasbro Interactive showed too much ego. Next, we'll take a look at the issues with motivation. Motivation are the reasons for acting or behaving in a particular way, or the desire or willingness to do something. So we've identified three main motivational issues with the staff of Hasbro Interactive, and these are goal setting, work environment, and mindset. As you can see from Hasbro Interactive's whole development process, there were only short-term targets set for each year, while the management just pushed its employees to go forward with aggressive targets without getting any feedback. Goal setting without any feedback is not effective in improving performance. In addition, there were no long-term goals set in advance, which should play a significant role in leading the whole company. Furthermore, the lack of specific tactics or strategies also crippled the company's competitive ability in the long term. Now let's take a look at an interview with Mr. Verikia.
Okay. I think the way we went about it was emotional rather than strategic. I do not think we really sat down together and put it in a plan. And Tom promoted it and he got the support that he needed.
Besides all these, external factors have also had too big an impact on Hasbro Interactive's target setting process. While it is not necessarily wrong to take some external factors into consideration, striking the right balance between the influence of external and internal factors for goal setting could mean the difference between success or failure. In other words, the process should not be interfered too much by external factors. Hasbro was encouraged by Wall Street to increase investment in Hasbro Interactive. Talk of them achieving $1 billion in revenue also placed significant pressure on them. This resulted in unrealistic expectations and goals. This placed a burden on the employees, making them confused about expectations at the company, and also leading to a culture of short-termism. Through investigating Hasbro Interactive's work environment, we found that Hasbro had given Hasbro Interactive too much autonomy, so much so that the latter nearly had full autonomy. Hasbro Interactive was created as a separate and independent division, with Dusenberry making all operational decisions, including those relating to organizational structure, product selection, and partnership agreements. Although he had to report to Hasbro's corporate officers in Pawtucket, this reporting structure still gave Hasbro Interactive substantial separation from the rest of Hasbro. One of the results of this excessive autonomy was that Hasbro Interactive ended up focusing more on short-term results without any long-term strategic planning. In addition, the need for the sharing of information and resources that are necessary to work effectively was not reflected to Hasbro Interactive by its parent company Hasbro. Also, within Hasbro, there arose a sense of competition rather than cooperation. With fewer resources available, debates between business unit heads about appropriate uses of capital became much more contentious. Apart from that, not giving proper feedback and timely performance recognition is also a contributor to Hasbro Interactive's questionable work environment. According to Herzberg's two-factor theory, motivational factors can be classified into two kinds: motivator factors and hygiene factors. Baum tried to improve the company's management by bringing in some discipline, but from Hassenfeld's point of view, Baum's heart was never in the business like the heart of those who had been with Hasbro for decades. So for Baum, there's a short of recognition from the company, which is a motivator factor, and this might be part of the reason for Baum leaving. Mac Whitman, who was an executive, later left to become the CEO of eBay. This is probably because of the lack of lucrative option packages in Hasbro. This is an example of a lack of the hygiene factor. The kind of work environment described above will give Hasbro Interactive's management too much freedom regarding their operational decisions. Due to their mismanagement, their employees ended up communicating, sharing, and learning less from each other, and this led to more competition rather than encouraging cooperation among employees or divisions. Another important factor that influences motivation is the mindset of the individuals in the company. From what Dusenberry said, we can infer that he didn't really learn his lesson from Hasbro Interactive's failure. Instead, he still placed blame on others. It can be seen that Dusenberry has a fixed mindset which stopped himself from learning from mistakes and failures. People with a fixed mindset will often avoid challenges and stick to what they believe they can do well, rather than risk failing and negatively impacting their self-image. In addition, useful negative feedback is ignored in the best of cases and taken as an insult the rest of the time. The fixed mindset might lead to people believing that any criticism of their capabilities is a criticism of themselves. This is detrimental to top management since a fixed mindset isolates them from their employees and easily leads to autocratic leadership. The formation of a fixed mindset involves both intrinsic and extrinsic factors. On the one hand, we believe that there are some intrinsic issues underlying in Dusenberry's personality that shape his behavior and interactions with other people. By applying the Big Five personality model, we can define Dusenberry as a person with higher extroversion but low agreeableness, as Dusenberry was generally recognized as a capable but controlling leader, taking full control of all the decision-making processes within Hasbro Interactive, and is also unlikely to embrace the suggestions of others. On the other hand, given that Dusenberry climbed to his position through his own capabilities, his fixed mindset was most likely reinforced by person praises complimenting his vision and ability from his superiors during his time in Hasbro Interactive. As a result, it became highly unlikely for him to accept others' opinions and advice. For instance, Dusenberry was unwilling to cooperate or communicate with Daya, the new CFO appointed by Baum from the parent company. The fixed mindset could also be responsible for Dusenberry's rejection of Daya's changes and is the main cause of inefficient or ineffective communication between the leaders. Now let's take a look at some of our recommendations that we've come up with for Hasbro Interactive. So, in terms of communication issues, in order to solve the problem of insufficient communication in the organization, Hasbro should recruit employees who are willing to communicate and have good communicational skills. Hasbro's HR department should adjust the recruitment process. For example, the HR department could design more effective personality tests to pick employees who are open-minded enough to accept the advice of other colleagues. In addition, Hasbro's HR department could arrange more training programs to improve employees' communication abilities. These programs could be delivered via various means such as seminars or through teleconferences, etc. We also recommend to encourage an open door policy for the CEO and other managers so that your team knows if they need something, they simply need to walk through it. Keeping the door open sends an important signal to the employees, that is, the attitude that you are available and willing to communicate. And each month, the company can publish an internal company newsletter with brief and interesting updates from each department on the notice board or through emails. And the forum can also be used to provide internal work-related sharing if necessary. It's important to not just rely on email and other screen-based communication. The company should also hold weekly, not just monthly meetings involving all managers in the divisions
and daily departmental meetings. A more robust reporting system should also be built to ensure better communication between the parent company and subsidiary. Now let's take a look at our recommendations for the motivational issues. For the issues regarding goal setting, it is recommended that the management of Hasbro Intractive should set specific, challenging, and reachable goals of both short-term and long-term nature. These goals should be based on past performances as well as on predictions regarding the future and be monitored, evaluated, and modified when necessary by the senior management of Hasbro. To ensure that the goals are specific, it should be stated what needs to be done, how much needs to be done, and the period in which the goals should be achieved by. It is also recommended that adequate feedback and recognition should be given regarding the reaching of goals and that good performance should be rewarded so that the goal set can be effective in improving performance. Regarding work environments, Hasbro should control the level of Hasbro Interactive's autonomy and give reasonable opinions and choices to Hasbro Interactive. This is because there needs to be a certain extent of evaluation and surveillance to ensure that the organization is operating on the right track and not out of control. Now let's take a look at recommendations regarding the mindset of employees. We recommend that employees help their staff build a growth mindset by giving more process praises. Employees should be willing to learn from their mistakes and failures and focus on performances and processes rather than just the outcomes. For example, Hassenfeld could compliment on the effort that his employees put in. He should build up a corporate culture where steady, reliable growth is emphasized over pure speed of growth and where effort is rewarded. Finally, the company could organize seminars for top managers to regularly update their managerial skills and styles. The top level managers should be taught how to avoid having a fixed mindset and to adopt a growth mindset instead. The company should celebrate remarkable growth with their staff as well as analyze failures. Moreover, the company could also make a new goal for their team.
Alright, now we have come to the end of our presentation. I hope you guys have found it useful.
Thank you for your presentation.